I'm going to be sharing with you in this video how the law of attraction actually works, which is that you need an identity level shift in order to manifest the reality that you want. At least that's been my experience. I'm going to be sharing with you in this video exactly how to do this and how to avoid the challenges and problems that I used to have and that most people have when trying to manifest their reality. So if you're new to this channel, what I want you to do is I want you to hit that subscribe button. I want you to hit that notification bell. Also, all the details to work with me will be down below. Now, what I want to start off this video with is the understanding that in every single moment, there's just stuff happening in your experience, stuff popping up, forms, people, situations, and some people will perceive of obstacles in their experience. Obstacles. They will perceive of obstacles. Now the thing is that in every single moment, instead of seeing obstacles, instead of seeing challenges, you can actually perceive of opportunities that will help you to go towards the thing that you truly want. So it's like there's this difference between seeing an obstacle or seeing an opportunity. Now, what is going to dictate whether you see an obstacle or an opportunity? What is going to define that happening? What is going to change that? What is going to change it from where you can see obstacles or you can see opportunities? What I'm going to share with you in this video is that the way that you actually make sure that you're only seeing the opportunities in your life that you truly desire is to make sure that your mind is programmed in the right way. And this can be seen as like a new age thing, or this can be seen as just really the way that your brain and the way that reality actually works. Because consciousness is not created from the outside in, it's created from the inside out. And I'm not just saying that because I heard it somewhere or I parroted it from some video. I'm quite literally telling you how reality works based on my own personal direct experience. So what I'm trying to share with you in this video is that you can manage yourself in a particular way, and I'm going to show you how to do that in this video, where you're only going to see things that are in alignment with the type of person that you want to become. That's all you're going to see. You're only going to see the things that are in alignment with the type of person that you want to become. And you can do this very on purpose and very consciously. This doesn't happen by accident. This is on purpose. So how do you need to do that? How do you actually do this? Well, what you got to do, first of all, is understand that, once again, what is going to dictate you seeing an opportunity or an obstacle is, first of all, I know I've talked about this a lot, but do you even know where you're going? Do you know who you want to become? Do you know what you're ready to embody? Because I talk with a lot of people. I talk with a lot of clients and a lot of different people that I support to manifest their reality. And what I've seen is that people say, they tell me their goals and they can talk for maybe 1 hour, 2 hours. I've connected with people for even like 6 hours before, believe it or not, in like a consultation. I usually connect with people for a long time. Sometimes I connect with people for longer. Sometimes I connect with people less, depending on like what they need before I even work with them. But I've connected with somebody for up to 6 hours before. Of course, it wasn't all in one call. I think it was like split up in like 3 different calls or something. But what happened was very interesting, which is that in that 6 hours total that I connected with this person, what happened is that I started to get a sense like they weren't really ready to step into that person that they wanted to be. That's just the vibe that I got. And I don't like to say that because I don't like to put people into boxes. I don't like to define people in a certain way and to say like, oh, this person doesn't have the belief system. But I think if I'm getting like a hunch, I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna act on that. And I think that a lot of people, they say they want these amazing things, and I think that it's amazing to have goals and to want certain things. But at the same time, though, it's critical to understand like look, what you program your mind with is going to start to become a part of your reality. So I think it's so critical to understand like, what are you actually ready for and who do you actually want to become? Like, just truthfully speaking, if you're completely honest with yourself, if you're completely honest with who you're ready to become, what you're willing to actually become, not just experience some crazy high or some low, and then you're back and forth, like truly to embody that frequency into your being, to fully and like ingrain that frequency, entangle yourself with that reality, right? What are you ready for is the question. So once you start to realize what you're really ready for, and then you commit to that vision and you commit to that identity, what will start to happen is that the more that you think about it and the more that you start reprogramming your subconscious mind with that idea, and continually it's on your mind's eye, you're always thinking about it, it's on your mind, guess what you're going to start noticing? It's not rocket science. You could say that it's just science if you want to go the scientific route, but this is just really a truth of consciousness. But you could also say that I don't know if you've ever heard of something called the reticular activating system, where your mind always has something that it's focused on. It's called selective focus. And you're always going to start noticing the things more that you notice more. So, for example, if you start thinking about yellow Lamborghinis, right? Yellow Lamborghinis, you're going to start walking outside. And if you walk outside, whenever you go outside, you're going to be like, God, I noticed 5 yellow Lamborghinis today. You're going to see yellow Lamborghinis more than ever. Like I remember when one of my friends said he wanted a Ford GT. He said he wanted that car, a Ford GT. And that day, I kid you not, I saw five Ford GTs. So did I manifest those Ford GTs? And if I start thinking about like, oh, I want $50,000, and then I start, seeing all these ways to get $50,000, did I manifest it or did I just notice it? And so the question is, did I manifest or did I notice it? Well, the answer to that, for me personally, is it doesn't matter. Who really cares? Who cares? Whatever helps you to move towards the goal. But this can get a little bit more spiritual, metaphysical if you want to go down that road. But the thing is that once you know who you're becoming, so if you use something like an affirmation and you say, I am this person, if you use something like some kind of idea or you're visualizing something and you're always putting your mind on something, of course, you're going to start noticing all those things that are going to be on it. If you say to yourself, I have a relationship, I'm in a romantic partnership, and you kind of fake it till you make it. A lot of people say like, oh, don't fake it till you make it. I disagree. I think faking it till you make it is absolutely an amazing thing. If you understand how to listen to your emotions and not pretend that like you are something that you're not. It's about understanding that you're in alignment and you're becoming that thing as you're saying that you are that thing. And of course it already exists in this present moment, but if that's too new agey for you, then don't think about it like that. Think of it like you're just moving towards a goal. Nonetheless though, however you want to see it, it doesn't really matter. Ultimately, I'll tell you why right now, because if you start saying, I have a relationship, you will start noticing, perhaps let's say you take the same route every single day to your job or something, or you go for the same route, you take a bus or something, right? Let's say you take a bus. The potential relationship that let's say if you want that you're desiring, could have been on that bus every single day for the last like 5 years. You've been taking the same route, you're on that bus every single day, on the way to your job, on the way to work. And there's all these people, right? There's all these different opportunities to manifest a relationship if that's what you want. But imagine you're in this energy and you're in this vibration. I'm saying it in that way particularly, not in some new agey way. You want me to say it in a more practical way? Let's say your state, just your being, whatever you want to call it, your state, your mood, is just you thinking about, God, I really want this relationship. I can't manifest this relationship. Maybe think about it like this. Maybe you're even on the phone messaging your friend, God, I don't know, why can't I manifest a relationship? Why can't I manifest a relationship? And then you ask people, why is this not manifesting? And you hire a million coaches. Now, there's anything wrong with coaches. If you want to work with me, all the details are going to be down below. You hire all these coaches. You figured out all your focus is, why don't I have a relationship? And imagine this. On that bus, to your right is somebody that you're attracted to. That's resonating at a frequency that you would both desire to be at. But you didn't notice it. You didn't see it. You didn't perceive of it. Why? Because you're too freaking focused on what you don't have. and why you don't have what you want and why your state of consciousness, and you have all this negativity and why it's not happening, blah, 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 blah. Right there to your right on the bus, every single day, right there. That soulmate or whatever, and I'm not saying soulmate, I know it because soulmates are real, but I have a particular opinion on that. I'll record a whole other video on that. Let me know in the comments down below if you want to see that. But imagine somebody that's resonating at a particular frequency that you both desire to be at, that you don't necessarily know that you both desire to be at that frequency yet. You're both there on that bus every single day, and you didn't notice it. What's really going on there? You're not noticing the opportunity because you're too focused on what you don't have, and you're too focused on the obstacles. You're too focused on the problems and the challenges and the complaining and why you don't have what you want and all these things. So what's happening there is that your selective focus is not on the right thing. Simple as that. Your selective focus is just not on the right thing. You're too freaking focused on the problem and not the solution. So how do you become solution oriented? What you do is you got to start to pick who you prefer to be and embody that. Start to embody who you want to be. Start fake it till you make it a little bit. Tell yourself you have a relationship. I already am that person. Don't even need to talk about it. You don't need to tell anybody. You don't need to tell people that you're in a relationship and lie or something. You don't need to do any of that. You just got to start to tell yourself who you are. Look, if you wake up every single day and you tell yourself, I am the best. I am confident. This is who I am. You're going to become that. If you tell yourself every single day you're the best at something, you're going to become the best at that thing. It's just as simple as that. If you tell yourself every single day, I already have what I want. I already have what I want. It's not about ignoring your feelings or necessarily lying to yourself, but in a way, it is about kind of faking it till you make it. And I'm sure you've been on this channel for a while. If you haven't, what I talk about a lot is trusting your emotional guidance system. So I'm not telling you to ignore your intuition. All I'm saying is to put your mind's focus on something else that is more in alignment with who you prefer to be. If saying it in the present tense doesn't resonate for you, then don't say it in that way. Say it in a different way. Say yourself, I can attract a relationship. Any perspective or idea that helps you to move forward and see more opportunities and feel like less dense and more light and free is going to be the perspective that you want to have. Personally, I like to embody ideas in the present tense as if I already had them, because I perceive of much more opportunities from that space of seeing that in my mind's eye. And I start to also become conscious that when I give myself permission to do so, I see that everything that I want quite literally does already exist in this present moment. And I used to hear people say that a lot on the law of attraction and law of attraction videos, like, oh, it all exists in the present moment. And I was just like, I didn't really understand it. Now I really do. It literally really does exist all in this present moment. It's just, are you conscious of it and are you seeing it? Or are you too freaking focused on the past challenges that you used to have, that you're recreating in the present moment again and again? So the second thing that I want to share with you to understand this principle is that once you've decided who you are, you don't need to know how. You don't need to know how. Many people are like, oh, but I want to become this. It's like, oh, I don't have the money. I don't have the resources. I don't know if I can do this. Many people around me maybe are projecting who I used to be. The how is none of your concern. Consciousness will figure it out, and it will know exactly how to do it. Just by focusing it on it in your mind, the how will figure itself out. When my friend wanted a Ford GT, and then I saw 5 Ford GTs that day, how did that happen? Explain to me, how did that happen? I don't know how. I just thought about it and I started seeing them. Then I don't need to necessarily work hard to see 5 Ford GTs. Was that a difficult process? Not at all. He was talking about Ford GTs. He said he really wanted a Ford GT. And then there was 5. I'm not kidding you. I'm being serious. I saw 5 Ford GTs that day. 5. And it was like 4 or 5 or something. Not even 2 or 3. It was like 4 or 5. I'm pretty sure it was that amount. If not, at least like 3. I don't know. It was a lot of Ford GTs that I did. Now the question is, were the Ford GTs already in existence? Of course they were. There was probably 4 GTs always flowing by, but I never noticed them. Or they didn't exist in my consciousness because I wasn't focused on them. Does it matter how you see it? Not at all. Not noticing something and it not existing is a synonymous thing. It's a synonymous thing. I'm going to say that again. Not noticing something and it not existing is a synonymous thing. That's the same thing. Which one is it? Always the scientific explanation? Is it the more grounded scientific explanation, or is it like the spiritual explanation? Both of those literally mean the exact same thing. There's no difference between either of those perspectives. They are literally the same thing. So you don't need to know how, is what I'm trying to say. You don't need to know how. And you don't need to turn it into some weird, like, spiritual thing if you don't want to. It's just life. That's just how life works. But you can see it however you want. You can go down the rabbit hole quite deep, and it can become very metaphysical once you start to realize this, because you realize that what you focus on, you will entangle yourself with. You will become one with what you continually put your attention on. But the point is, how that process works is none of your concern. That's the ego. The ego is trying to figure out how does this work? What's the process? How is this happening? Blah, 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 blah. It doesn't actually matter. Like the how is none of your concern. All you need to know is where you want to go, who you want to be, and keep persisting. Not persistence in the sense like energetically work as hard as possible and force your way through massive radical action. Take radical action, but that doesn't have to be necessarily a difficult process unless you believe that it has to be. I have this feeling that like a lot of people don't see the significance of what I'm saying in these videos. Like what I'm sharing with you is absolute, in my opinion, it's absolute gold. Like I'm giving you, like, right now in this video, I'm quite literally giving you the codes to reality. The codes to break out of the matrix and to manifest your reality. Like, are you seeing the significance of what is being delivered to you right now in this video for absolutely free? I'm not even asking you for a dime right now. I'm just sharing with you the codes to the frickin' matrix. And you just got to be open enough to believe the same things that I believe. Be open to the possibilities. And I can't convince you, but I do have a desire to share my personal experience, which is what I'm doing right now. So, what I'm trying to say here before I move on to the next point is that the how is not something you need to be focused on. You don't need to worry about how. Just know who you are. Persist. Decide who you are. Choose a program to fall into in your life and let consciousness do the rest. So what I want to conclude this video with is to reprogram yourself to see what you want to see. Because look, think about it like this. When I saw 5 Ford GTs that day, imagine if I didn't know what the law of attraction was. That was still the law of attraction working through me, whether that was on purpose or an accident. I could have consciously programmed myself to see 4 GTs all over the place, but it just kind of happened accident. I think I was kind of getting into the law of attraction at that point, or just reality. I don't really like to use the word law of attraction a lot. I'm not sounding like recording a video. I don't like talk about the law of attraction to like everybody in my life, really, because I'm just embodying it. Like I'm just living life. The law of attraction is just life. It's just what it is. You know what I mean? But I feel like this communication style is going to reach the types of people that will receive the help that they need, which is why I'm recording this and using this type of language. But it's just life. Many people on the planet are very conscious of this law of attraction, and they don't even have any desire to talk about it, and you wouldn't even know that they're using it because they're just being whatever they want to be, right? They're just being whatever they want to be, and then they don't even need to talk about it. So what I'm saying here is that day when I saw 5.4 GTs and it kind of happened on accident, and maybe you've experienced this in your life, maybe this is kind of opening something up for you. Maybe you had some experience where you just started noticing, like maybe your friend said something like, oh my gosh, like yellow cars are the best. And then you saw like many yellow cars, like, oh, another yellow car, another yellow car. I remember when I was like a little kid and my dad was like driving me somewhere. We played this game where it was like, how many yellow cars can you find or something? How many yellow cars can you find? And I'm just like, yellow car, yellow car, yellow car. Yellow cars just like everywhere, just yellow cars everywhere, yellow cars, like, oh my gosh. And then it's like, of course I saw yellow cars everywhere because I kept focusing on them. You know what I mean? So all I'm saying here is that you can consciously tap into this, and whatever you want in your life, start thinking about it more consciously. Put your focus on it more. Any perspective that helps you to see more of what you want to see, then do that. Why would you not do that? Lie to yourself a little bit. The biggest fear that people have is like, oh, but what if I'm lying to myself? Blah, 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 blah. We're all kind of lying to ourselves anyways. It's just, what do you want to see? And I'm not saying to like be dishonest with people or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, we're all lying to ourselves one way or another. We're just telling ourselves a story and we're seeing that story play out. Whether we're doing that on purpose or an accident, the story is still playing out. So let's say somebody's saying to themselves, God, I always forget my purse, or something like that. I always forget my purse. Whether they realize it or not, and again, this is where I get people, this is where I can understand and I can really empathize. People be like, oh, that's new agey, that's hocus pocus, blah, 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 blah. What are you talking about, Francis? That's too new agey for me. Look, it doesn't really matter if somebody, I don't want to sound too vulgar here, but like whether somebody agrees or disagrees, in that moment when somebody is saying to themselves, God, I always forget my purse, they are. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry to tell you, they are reprogramming themselves or programming themselves continuously to see, to experience a reality where they keep forgetting their purse every single time. It's like, and if they were just to sort of tell themselves, for example, I always remember to take my purse with me, and they would start remembering. Okay, and look, I'm not here to convince you of that. I'm just telling you what the case is and what has been my experience. So just test this out for yourself. Try to tell yourself a story that resonates for you. Don't worry about the how, and notice small things changing. And it can start small. Small things start to change, and then it becomes better and better and better and better. At first, you might not believe it, but eventually you'll start to see that your mind is changing your experience. And then you build a little bit of confidence. And when you build a little bit of confidence, now you're getting started in the right direction again of remembering that, in fact, your thoughts do create your reality. Okay, and with that, I conclude this video. Once again, if you want to work with me, all the details are going to be down below. I do have something called email coaching, which I launched quite recently. So check out all the deals for that if you want. And I also have only a few spots left for long-term coaching. Once again, all the details will be down below. As always, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.